Coach, now that your first weekend of the regular season is in the books and you can look at some actual game footage, what are some of the things that you think the team did well this past weekend, and what are some areas you think you could see improvement?
Yeah, for sure. The area that's most clear that was a change from last season is our hitting percentage. We played 13 sets of volleyball on the weekend, and I think only 3 of them did we hit under 200. That's a marked improvement from last year, and a lot of those sets we were up in 300, and I think a couple of 400. So the ability to keep the ball in play and make good decisions hitting, definitely an area that we've gotten better at. Probably one of the areas that we're going to need to improve on is some of the simple stuff: free ball execution, penetrating on our block. Some of that is technical, some of that is system, but we'll spend the week working on that. That's kind of low-hanging fruit. It's not too difficult to correct and should be able to give us, a 2 or 3 point advantage in each set.
It's still early in the season, but how are the newcomers adjusting to the collegiate level so far, do you think?
Quite well. I've been really happy with all 4 of them. The Camille setting is just at a different pace in college than it is in club, but she's kind of fit in quite well with it. Defensively, she still has to work to get up to speed, but as a setter, she's done a nice job. Certainly McKenna being able to contribute both on the left and the right for us. She's done a nice job, and she stepped in at some key times this weekend, did a good job. Devin as a DS, that's probably one of the most competitive positions on our team, DS libero, and she's kind of figuring it out. You see her get a little bit better every day. She got a nice steady serve. She's steady on defense, so I was really happy with that. And Michelle has a pulled hip flexor, but had been progressing very nicely in training camp, and I think all 4 of them will be able to actively help us this year.
In the Providence game this past weekend, the team found itself trailing 2-1, and the momentum seemed to be in the Friars' favor. What does it say about the leadership of your team to be able to come back and kind of just keep fighting and then eventually pull off a victory?
Yeah, I think you saw in the Providence match both our best and our worst, in that it took 3 sets before we got emotionally engaged in the match. It wasn't until the end of the third, even maybe a little bit into the fourth, before you could just see a mental interaction and emotion and connection with the game from our girls. That was the worst. The best was that 2/3 of the way through a match and not really being there, they were able to then turn it on and really kind of dominate for the 4th set and the 5th set. That transformation in the middle of a match is, again, something we didn't see last year. So to see that happen this year, this early, I was really happy with that, to be able to pull out a 5th set being down 2-1. We've got to work on how do we prepare better to have that right from the beginning of the match. That's clearly an area of focus for us. But to be able to turn it on like that halfway through is good. I was really pleased with them.
The Fairfield tournament is on the schedule next with matchups against Stony Brook, Fairfield, and Marshall. What went into the decision to decide to play in this tournament particularly? And looking at the opponents, is there anything particular that your team will focus on in certain games?
Yeah, good question. It's the choice of tournament is dictated by a lot of different factors. We travel so much during the season with ACC play and being one of the periphery schools that we try to keep travel relatively close to home in non-conference. So that figured into it a bit. Also like to play kind of regional matchups and get a number of those in. We don't have video on any of those teams yet, so I can't really say specifically what we'll need to focus on in playing them. But for the most part, at this point in the season, it doesn't matter that much anyway. It's still about addressing our side of the net. Free ball, serve, receive, execution, some of our blocking stuff. It becomes there are certain strategies that you have that are unique to your opponent, but that becomes much more pronounced once you get into a conference play. Right now, this is still very much focusing on our side. So we had a nice start this past weekend, and moving ahead, we try to help the girls identify, but in practice and video, what are the areas from this past weekend that we can change in 4 days of practice, and see if we can put that in place again.
So the fact that coaches named you a captain after only 1 year with the team says something about your ability as a leader. Can you talk about what the feeling was like when you were named the captain, and what some of the things that you'd like to do as a captain this year?
Well, I was so happy when I got the email that I was going to be a captain this season. And well, I'm so excited, and I feel that as a captain, you have like more responsibility in your team with your teammates. You gotta make sure that everyone gets along with everyone. So yeah, I was so happy when when he told me.
Now with the entire off season under your belt, so before the preseason, how can you talk? Can you talk about the work that you and the team did in the off season and how you think that helped you prepare for this past weekend?
Well, I think that everyone when we went home, everyone practiced in their clubs or did extra workouts and stuff in the lifting room. So I think we did a really good job, all of us. And also we were here the whole summer. We took classes in the summer. We did open gym every single day, and everyone was so excited about it, and everyone showed up every day. So I think we are really ready to start ACC.
Brittany, in the final set of the Providence match Saturday, you tallied 6 kills on your own and were a crucial part in helping the Eagles come back in that game. Can you talk about your performance in that game, what went right, and how your team was able to come from behind and win?
Yeah, well, I think in that final set of Providence, it kind of sunk in that we really need to get it together and start performing. I mean, our service was amazing that game, and that Mallory Moffitt did an amazing job setting me. And as a middle, you really need your team behind you to perform because it needs to be a perfect pass and a perfect set in order to get the kills. So I think our team did a good job of pulling ourselves together in that final set to get the win.
And in Saturday night's game, there was a sellout crowd, a lot of students in the stands. Can you talk about the importance of having big crowds to play in front of, and whether or not you think that impacted the way you guys performed on Saturday night?
Yeah, I think that definitely helped us. I mean, having a crowd there to support you and your team definitely makes you want to perform better for your school. So I think that all the super fans were there, and I know a lot of our families came out to help support us. So hopefully we'll get that kind of crowd again.